Oh, sudah live.
Hey guys, I think we should start soon. There's a punk on LinkedIn. Okay lah, we do the countdown lah.
So fast ah?
You tekan lah, you long time never work kan.
Wait lah. Sekejap. Ini dia, 7:59 ni oh. Okay lah. Boleh lah. Start.
Start lah. Hello guys, good evening all.
Like so drama that the BGM. You play too much games, right? During your 2-week break, right? Good evening, everyone. How's it going? Apa khabar? Sudah makan?
Sudah makan. Very long time already lah. Both of us never go like two talking heads and stuff like that. So this is one of the rare times. So here today we, of course, for those joining us for the first time, welcome to Sarong Slippers.
Yeah, I know, right? We have to like really, bite our tongue before we say that, right? It is Sarong Slippers for now, and it used to be called as TKSS, as that stands for Top Sing Song. But anyway, this episode title, as you can see, it's scrolling on your screen.
Yes,
of it, how to make money.
Correct. How to make money? That's how we say it lah. Okay, how to make money? Okay, content creation. Today we're going to talk about content creation and how we're going to utilize content to our advantage lah. Okay, just going to share some snippets here and there, but before we start, kan kita kata hello sikit lah. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see. We have Lisa. This is Lisa. Wow. Hello. And Asri as well. Apa khabar? Bagus. We got Jeff and
hi Jeff, welcome.
Who is Lisa?
Which one?
The next one.
Lisa also lah.
Lisa also. Okay.
This one your kawan karib.
Why the profile pic like that? I don't know lah. You ask Eric why you choose that photo. Satu.
I
don't know. Why I don't know.
Hi evening, Yuri.
Yeah, validation from Yuri about your BGM.
Yeah, okay, bagus. Bagus means good, Yuri. Don't play.
Okay.
Why Angau go YouTube one?
Exactly. That's the boss. She's spy on us. Kita kerja ke tidak? Or even see whether we got membabi you.
Hi, Sonali.
Oi. Good evening, Sonali. How's it going? So, I just posted on our comments as well, just in case for those of you who are having some issues in signing on to LinkedIn. We have an alternate broadcast link that's on our YouTube channel, and there it is. All right. So, wow, Major.
Hello, boss.
Oh, boss. Apa khabar? Sudah makan? Hey, I just realized, for those of our friends in Selangor, Kedah, and
cuti mah.
Cuti mah.
PL ni kena kerja kuat no. You look at the Azri here, go and like lepak and smoke cigar no.
Exactly kan. Okay. Anyway, so back to tonight's topic. All right, we're going to talk about content creation. Whether can it monetize for us? Can we make money with content creation anyway? So let us know your thoughts. What are your thoughts about content creation? How to go about it? Does it really work? And just drop your comments and we'll check it out later on. Okay, so in the meantime, maybe we could just cue our introduction first, and then
Oh,
we're
yeah,
gonna
yeah. Tu kanchong already, introduction. Sudah lupa.
we go step by step. Okay.
The first topic is, do we need a content guide? What do you guys think? You think about it. We'll cue our introduction first. Uncle, please.
Mana? Mana? Oh, itu saja. Okay, right back. Clearly shows we have some housekeeping to do, Eric. There's a lot of things to click. It's like, oh, it's grown. You know, behind the scenes, the library of stuff to click, mind-boggling anyway. So, first topic for the night. How do we actually need a content guide? Let's see. We have some new guests just signed on. We have Siu Fui and have Sharon too.
Thanks for coming.
So maybe while we wait for our viewers' comments, maybe we can kick this off. Let's go back to our early days, Eric. Did we actually have a content guide? Don't recall having one. Only
that time don't have lah. That time
we just
whack anything that we can whack and just create any content that we can content lah. But no. We just content has become a noun. We content anything that we can content. So
yeah, so no, we did not have one during our early days. We really just langgar and we learned along the way, and we've come quite a fair bit over 3 years and counting, I think. And eventually, as our team grew and our channel grew, we figured we needed it. Actually, not us, but our team, Selena particularly. She's the one who guided us behind the scenes. Yeah, man, those were the days. But not necessarily lah. Having a content guide, it makes things cleaner, more organized. Do we really need one to get it going? Tak perlu lah, kan? Aku rasa.
In the beginning, I think we don't need one because starting itself is already quite tedious lah, I believe lah. It takes a bit of courage and to go forward. In the beginning, just go all out there and create whatever you feel like creating. You know, just find your niche and find your interests and just churn out content first. But along the way, of course, we need to fine tune it, and that's when our big boss Selena, she will come and whack us. Why are we posting random stuff? You need to align to some theme so that everybody posts along the same, or at least have the same road to travel, so to say lah. So I'm gonna share with you guys. Uncle, we have something to share with them, right?
We do. But before that, Cheryl checks in. She does. It usually comes later on in the journey. Good to have one, just to set the parameters of what wants to achieve exactly. So that was what Selena had in mind for us. So without further ado, we do have something to show everyone. Let's do this. How do we bring it up? I forgot. Oh, right. So hi. I am referring to myself, okay? Right. So, how to make money content creation. So this is just a very high-level overview of our content calendar. So as you can see, those were the days when it was only Eric and I, and then we slowly expanded to having Chris and Fish, and then Selena came in, and then Sharon too onboarded Tyler as well along the way, and it became bigger and bigger. And then we grew, moved on, and switched from TKSS to Sarong and Slippers, having our own set, at Iconic. So clearly, we wanted to be there as much as possible, to be visible, and to, of course, to make use of the place. We already invested so much, And
Mm.
here it is. So this is just a very high level calendar of who's going on air.
Not,
Is it
not exactly high level. We're using Excel ni saja.
I really Excel, but for us, it's like a tracker for us, lah, so to speak. Otherwise, quite frankly speaking, I cannot really remember who's going next one. Yeah, in fact, you ask me right now who's going next week. I can't remember. I have a look at this calendar. So, yeah.
We usually don't plan stuff. Not everybody is a planner. I'm not a planner. Uncle's not a planner. We just go, we wing it. But some people are just pure planners and they need things to be written down so that they know what's going on. So it's good to have something like that. It's not expensive anyway. It's just using Excel. You just use Excel. You plan down the dates. You plan down the things that you want to talk about. At least it gives you an idea. You don't have to repeat yourself or say the same thing again and again. You have a team. You have like a roadmap, so to say.
Yeah. So as what we can see here, next week's episode will be hosted by Tyler, Tris, and Fish. And then after that, 2 weeks down the road, it's supposed to be Eric and I again. But at that time, it's supposed to be live on set lah. But anyway, we'll talk about that later on. So yes, Marul, betul. Selina memang dia backbone of this whole idea. Kan dia lembu, dia banyak kerja keras. So anyway.
Itulah kerja dia. Bagilah dia buat.
Betul. So that's our content calendar. Hang on. Actually, that's not the right word. It's not a content calendar. That's just the schedule of who's going, who's hosting next. Yeah, a hosting schedule, hosting calendar. You want to call it that.
That portion, right, is just a snippet of the entire bigger game because this is just going live and who's doing what shows and stuff like that. There is also another giant roadmap to pinpoint to where we are heading. Right. That one contains some high-level secrets I cannot paparkan on LinkedIn like that.
Our secret sauce lah. That one is sort of like a roadmap with milestone or where we want ourselves to be in a year's time, broken down into half yearly and even smaller quarterly, and even more smaller monthly and so forth. So that one, yelah, kerja keras itu Selina.
Bukan kerja kita tau. It's her work, not our work.
It's her work. Credits to her. Thank you, boss. Thank you, Selina.
Thank you, boss.
Thank you. Nanti kena. Dia dah datang dah.
No bo. Just bo, no back.
She
go and privatize herself.
Exactly. Why, Selina? Why you do this? Your profile photo so lang. Kejap pergi YouTube, sekarang balik LinkedIn. Apa dia buat? Main-main.
Okay, so this is the most important part of all, I suppose, of all the topics. And will content get us job or not? Okay, the definition of job here can be a lot of things. It could be work, okay, company hires, or it could be sales, could be leads that we get, that we convert them into sales, right? Or we get job opportunities here and there, or collaboration and stuff like that. Will content get us job or not? What do you guys think? We've been doing it since early 2020, and up until now, most of our leads comes from LinkedIn. Okay, we're going to show you some stuff, but how about you guys? Are you guys getting any stuff out from LinkedIn by posting, or you're just starting off? Just let us know, see where we can actually, more like a knowledge sharing session. We also learn from you. We share what we know, then you share what you know, because you also want to, what is that word? Absorb sikit. Absorb. Konon.
Sedut. Okay.
We didn't point out this thematic approach here. Why don't you, Uncle, you want to explain a little bit on this?
Right. So, why create a theme? Okay. So, first of all, when you want to create content, you need to understand your why. Why you're doing it, and if we're not careful, you're going to spend a lot of time and energy into it, and more than likely, of course, we're going to get visible and ultimately famous to a certain extent. But what's the point of having that fame? Besides just shock sendiri lah, right? Know your why. When we know our whys, then perhaps we may be able to identify who is our intended target audience better. Okay, so that's a first bullet point. Creates a focus for your audience targeting, right? And based from that group of targeted audience, you will then more or less identify to a certain level of accuracy what are their interests. So are you going to create something to target them even more by creating targeted content based on their interests? And of course, ultimately, you want to monetize what we do. So the last one obviously is collaboration opportunities lah. Okay, some may ask. So the second point, right? How then do you identify? How then do we identify interest-based content? How did we do that, Eric? I can't recall.
This
Eric,
one
yeah.
actually centers around the person. I mean, personally, I comes from a medical background, right? And I dabble a little bit on the healthcare side. It could be anything lah. I mean, of all your interests, it could be photography as well. It could be, like Uncle, he likes to talk about his gallivanting adventures, right? How he ponting kerja, how he's naughty days. It kind of find the audience that resonates with your content. It could be a lot of your personal stories as well, your experience, your job. Hey, so it's different areas that you can focus on. Just a content that probably you use it to fish your group of audience first for a following in that sense, because people need to know why are you here and what do you stand for, or what are you good at. You can't be talking about everything under the sun, right? If you like certain things, you probably can talk about that. Like for us, we write a lot about us as a team, as a company, and what do we do, and how do we, build up relationships and all. It's like pretty much on the culture side of things. So we enjoy this portion of things, and we write a lot of things very close to this team. It could be anything. So, but as long as the interest generates public response, then you know that you're in the right direction. Or then you just keep on generating content. Then slowly you expand it into other territories as well. But you need to find one that suits you first, lah.
The core. Correct. Yes. You need to understand. Now that you mentioned all this, it has returned to me how we did it. So Eric started this very, very organically. It started off with storytelling. Okay, we use the storytelling method, and we write about anything under the sky, but keeping it to things that the locals or even our neighbors in Singapore or even Indonesians can understand. So it's making ourselves relatable, our regular everyday struggles as just a person, as a parent, as a spouse, So eventually we get engagement, and clearly through the reactions as well as the comments of our post. And slowly that grew to become having private messages from interested parties, and the conversations would then go from there. And obviously that's what you saw. I'm just going to bring up the slide a little bit more. The list of themes: relationships lah, career path lah, investment and money. Eric, for example, he's a very interesting case. He is a doctor. He was a practicing doctor, and then he went into lecturing, went back again on a part-time basis. And then for some reasons, can you imagine how a doctor in the medical field transition into digital marketing, right? So let's just there you go. So that's his way of creating interest, and that's how slowly we got jobs. But let's not talk about us as a marketing team. Let's talk about yourselves, you as viewers. How many of you have landed jobs from LinkedIn itself? Your current day jobs. In my 2 out of 3 last day jobs were got through this channel actually. Through LinkedIn, through relationships, through connections that grew to beyond connections. So Yuri,
what does Yuri have to say?
only this year to build connections. There we go. We started off with that as well. And then she said it resulted in her content being scattered. Yeah. Post, repost, and then now she needs to shift her focus towards creating more consistent content. That was how it is. So now, maybe Yuri, the next step for you is consistency and regularly. It doesn't have to be every day, but regularly, creating cadence according to your time. Otherwise, burnout is a real thing, and then it just, which I just recovered. If some of you have followed me, you realize that I haven't been around for like 3 weeks, until last 2 Saturdays. Then no, just 2 days ago. Sorry, started reposting again, and then today. So very dangerous. By the way, Michelle, you fool. Anyway, this damn Salah.
This one.
Okay, thank you for letting us know what you're doing while you're listening.
I don't know what are the clothes that you're folding.
Don't go there. That's one.
Okay, so will content get us job or not? Okay, that's important. All right. So we're going to share this with you again. Getting jobs. Maybe I put it a little bit bigger so that everyone can see. This is from my personal profile because uncle, he doesn't want to share his stuff, right? So I have to use mine.
Yeah, cannot see. Anyway, so these are some of Eric's connections that have grown beyond that already.
Right.
We reached out to him, and these are such as conversations that took us to where we are today. So one among the contributing factors. So that's that.
I got job offers, which wasn't what I was looking for. It came. All right, somebody reached out to me whether they want to work, for someone in Singapore as well. So there was a chance for me to be like head of medical director in Malaysia. But of course, there wasn't what I was looking for, but it was because of the content that I posted out. I managed to get a lead from that just by posting regularly on LinkedIn, pretty much it. And you have others reaching out to me as well to work on things together, being an agency and all, and collaborations. People do reach out from time to time. These all are the seeds that's been planted along the years since 2020. It grew, but you won't get it immediately by posting your content, but just that it takes time to grow these relationships, and eventually people reach out to you. It's just a matter of time of when they do.
So referrals as well. If you look at some of them, right? Some of these messages goes towards referrals, and it's not just direct connections that we get, but it's just word of mouth as well too. So consistency is key. And Anba, how's it going? By the way, Anba and I were colleagues way back in 15 years. I was still in Dell in Cyberjaya. How's it going, Anba? I hope you've been well all these years.
Anba lah, Anba is so jauh kat Penang lah. Oh, he's in Penang, no?
Aku orang Penang kan. Aku mau bising-bising. Ayo. Okay. Anyway, he is adopted. Are you adopted, Eric?
Adopted by Auntie Prima.
So anyway, and good evening. Thank you so much. So, can we relate our point through stories and yet keep the post short and concise? That's a very good question. Eric, maybe you want to talk about, there's actually a certain number of characters that we maintain, and why.
LinkedIn used to cap it at 1,300 characters. Now we can write a lot more. Right. But we still keep it short because at the end of the day, right, if the whole entire post is so lengthy, unless it's like an educational post, people tend to just skip and just read the bottom of the line. Majority, I can't say for everybody, but sometimes I do that too. It's like when you see the post too long, you tend to scan the entire passage and you just jump to the last few important bits at the bottom. Best to just keep it short and concise, but of course with value, meaning that there is some point to be taken off from the post after reading. Don't let the readers feel like they're being cheated of their time, right? then what next? At least a
Yeah.
value or moral of the story, or what's the lesson behind what you are sharing. That'll be good, lah.
Mm. That I used to be practicing that as well too. I mean, 无边嘛, because that's the limit that LinkedIn set until they expanded beyond. I still keep it to plus minus about 1,003, sometimes 1,004, sometimes 1,005. But the whole idea is to deliver what's intended, and of course, to maintain readership. That's among the key to kind of whether measure whether how well your content is doing. It's the matter of how much dwelling time the reader spends on your content. The longest I remember I've ever written is about 2,100 characters, but that was quite a heavy topic. But actually, that was one of my best content so far, by the way. Yeah. So, and let's just say if what Eric said, earlier, to make it into an educational sharing, maybe you could consider article, because it sets the expectation that this one requires a more precise attention span instead of just a fun reading. I've never written an article before because I don't know, it's just not my thing. Yeah. I prefer to.
You tell Uncle to write, right? I think it'll take a whole year for him to just. Probably won't come out an article also after a whole year. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I can't talk shit, I can't talk crap, on an article. It's so serious. Can't really, PK a bit. But anyway. So yeah, and she likes my finger pose. There you go. If you know, what kind of finger pose that is.
Like this, who do you want to emulate? Emulate Daniel lah. Best. He likes fingers pose.
Wow. Anyway, okay. So, when can content get results? Now, here's the thing. We spoke to some business owners as well. Content creation clearly is among the marketing tools that's available to any of us freely. It's just a matter of how we use it. But most business owners, right, business first, they want ROI, and typically they will look at the time frame as the measurement of success. Measure what then? In that time frame, what are they measuring? It could be anything from the number of prospects earned or developed from that, or the number of sales closed within that same number of duration of time. So it varies depending on what you want. So again, it goes back to us. So for all of you content creators out there, or even one who is aspiring to be one, know your what and why, and then know your who's your target audience, and then how you're going to do it. And hopefully at least that becomes a guide. But can content get us results? What do you think? Let us know your thoughts. No right or wrong.
Look at Marv, man.
Oh, so Marv, how's it going? So he started with blogging alongside his day job back in 2016. So on top of that, he provided photography services, managed a couple of SOCMED platforms, kept a separate editing page on Facebook for write-ups, and two Instagram accounts, one for food, the other for D&D and gaming. What's D&D? Dungeons and Dragons.
At least you know. At least you know.
Hey, hello. It's our time. Hey, well done. So Marv is... I think Marv is quite similar to what you've done, Eric. I think when you first started right?
Very close.
Right. Eric started that way too, way before Choobub was founded.
Yeah, but mine was probably in 2000s. way earlier.
Way earlier.
But similar picture.
Ooh, someone like the bird content. Hey.
So Uncle, when can the content get results? Now, I'm going to give you this, show you this slide again. Okay. Say, for example, this message came to me recently, probably in April 2023. Looney's message came to me in April 2023. We connected in 2020. I was just reading through just now. So 2020 and 2023 is like 3 years. before there is magic, before something happened. But along the way, we chatted, we met on Zoom, we built some form of conversation around the things that we enjoy doing and stuff. But that took whole 3 years for a lead to eventually come in. So it takes time. It doesn't like convert immediately. But you have to start somewhere, and you have to start now, you see, and you have to be consistent in doing it so that your pipeline and your funnel keeps feeding you these leads which you have planted 3 years back. So it's like an ongoing process. You never know when they come, but they will come. But give and take, right? I would say that you maybe need shortest time frame probably a year. Longest, this is the longest I've ever been, like 3 years. Like 3 years, to get a lead.
So for those of you in marketing, you would measure it, and among the terms that you call is MQL, that stands for Marketing Qualified Leads. Very same to SQL, Sales Qualified Leads. That's the other stage. So yeah lah. So 2020, that was when you got to know her first, and then when was the first time you started talking to her?
After a few months' time.
After a few months' time.
After a few months' time, we went on Zoom. We talked. Then there was a quiet zone for a year plus. Yeah.
Okay. What do you do? You scared her away.
Nothing. Finished chit-chatting.
So, hey, so Yuri have got a good question, which was among our struggles, probably still is till today. She asked, can we add what we do or what we can offer at the end of our post? She clearly doesn't want her post to promote herself, doesn't want to hard sell lah, yeah? She's trying to ask. So, what do you think? And maybe Eric, this one is in your territory.
I think mix and match like Yuri. There's no right or wrong answer to it. But of course, people will get put off if we see too many promotional content about ourselves on LinkedIn. I mean, every day we talk about the same thing and sell the same thing, right? Everybody kind of get bored. And after a while, it becomes a nuisance, or it becomes like annoying already. You see this guy, I talk the same thing again. You probably won't want to read whatever he has to write anymore.
Yeah.
So I think best is you can keep it to maybe about 80-20 rule. You can talk about your personal stories or experience. Probably 20% of it, you can do some self-promotional posts. But when you have your team, right, then it makes a different story. You can sell other people without having to sell yourself, you see.
Correct.
That's
multiple.
Yeah.
So what Eric and I, we used to do in our early days, because it was just a very small team, it was practically us. There wasn't Tris, there wasn't Fish, and those guys are not around yet. So 80-20 rule, or some may call it as the 4-1 rule. Out of 5, you take only 1 for that purpose. So Eric once wrote this post very long ago. It's still somewhere in his profile. Is that he calls it the fishnet and the harpoon method. Fishnet is like you're a fisherman, you throw your fish and you kind of like just spread your net to make yourself visible, expand your network, your visibility, right? And you do not expect return. It's just a matter of what kind of fish gets into the net, right? But then if you want to be more precise and targeted, that out of the 4-1 rule, that one post is a targeted harpoon post. It's just direct, get to the point. Now, that is writing about it, like we talking about it. There are also some ways of silently promoting what we do, is that we let our work do the talking for ourselves. So photography, videography, broadcasting are among the stuff that we at Choobub does today. And if you see some content that features some shots taken by our team, taken by Eric, for example, that's kind of like testimony. Better still, if those works were posted and talked about by the recipient by other users. So testimony lah kan. So
that actually kind of answers Melati's question, how to sell without selling. We can do it very subtly. Okay, you don't have to be face blank to sell something, but you can showcase of the things that you do. As you can see, right, on my LinkedIn profile, I do a lot of photos. I put up a lot of photos, taking shots everywhere, but I don't sell. But the quality of the photo speaks for itself. It shows what we are doing without actually saying it. People know the intention behind writing the post. So you can sell without selling. Just that you got to be tactful in how you do about it lah. Because people get very. If you just imagine uncle walks through a shopping mall and somebody just harass him and hey uncle, please sign up this credit card, right? What's your first instance response? You don't sign, right? The first thing you look at, you tell my face got money or not? You tell me. You get angry, right? No, sure, your face no money face.
Yeah, so hope that answers it, Yuri and Melati. Let's we haven't done this for a long time. Okay, we used to have a halftime clip. We're gonna run it, but we're not gonna run it because what we used to do was to kind of like showcase what we do. But let's just run it and you watch it. After when we come back, you let us know what you think about that little video clip that we're gonna play very soon. Okay, talk about that. Coming back. Welcome back, and let us know your thoughts. But just FYI, that video was made very long ago.
Very long ago.
This guy. Yeah. What do you think? All right. What do you think about what was that supposed to do? Is it to showcase something? Is there a silent message? In fact, were there silent messages? I feel there are plenty of silent messages out there. There were some collaborations going on, the logos. So there's one way of doing it, right? So, yeah. Let's move on. Let's see.
That's why, Michelle, don't eat so much of 7 spice fried tofu. See ya. See ya.
You never die before, you Eric. You
it's okay, I'm behind the screen.
You wait. You stay in KL1.
Hey, Taka.
So, right now, here's another common challenge that we get, and we were among them as well. I'm not creative. What to do? How? So between Eric and I, obviously you know who's the more creative one, and that's not me. Okay, hands down, that's not me. So it's him. And a lot of us, when we try to do something, try to start, we will be wondering what to write, how to do it, whether is it good enough, and all that kind of self-doubt. What to do? Do you feel that? Let us know. Eric, what to do?
Bilang chai sah.
Didn't see that coming, but okay. Thank you, silly.
This one is the one way to sell it is you come and look for me lah. Okay.
Wow, that's hard selling, man. We were just talking about silent marketing. What happened to that, man?
You can come and look for me. We do something very creative together. That's one we can do. Alternatively, right, there are a lot of ways to do it. There are a lot of softwares out there. So, take Canva, for example. You don't have to be creative. It has templates for you to use already. Yeah. You can free. It's free. You can use templates. Yeah. You can just use the templates, just following according to what have been designed, some tweaks here and there. It should be all good. Don't really have to be creative and all. But when it comes to writing, of course, that takes a bit of practice. Nobody gets creative at the get-go. You need a bit of practice. You need to constantly put out words out there, know how to play with your words around. Then probably you can get better at it. Nobody gets creative unless you're born. Nobody is lucky enough or be blessed enough to be born creative. Very rare. Okay. It takes a bit of practice. And by practice means not just a month, 2 months, 3 months. It takes years of practice. I've been doing it since college days already. And then plus minus now it's probably 20 over years of doing this side stuff. So, yeah.
But let's not scare people.
Not. Yeah, but what to do? Yeah.
Right? It was just on the side, hobby, and then
Yeah. But I'm not scaring everybody like, oh no, die. No, I don't have that number of years to spend on being creative and stuff like that. But it's okay. Again, you can outsource it to us. No problem.
okay, that's true. Okay.
Okay. You see the point here. Subtle selling.
Oh, you subtle, huh? Very subtle, man.
Very subtle. Okay.
So,
But
yeah,
lah, we all have different skill sets lah. It's okay if you are not creative. You can always look for someone, not us lah. You can look for anyone to work together alongside you if they're on the creative side and stuff. But we do what we can. Content is content. Sometimes content that doesn't look good still respond very good. If you look at LinkedIn, graphics can be very like all over the place, but because the write-up is good, it still generates a lot of traction, you see. So it doesn't mean that you have to be like super pokey nice. Pokey, right?
anyway, perky stuff.
Pokey stuff.
Now, Melati has got a question for us. What kind of videos people love to watch? So this varies, depends on the age group, and depends on which background or industry. If it's about, talking about work as the target audience for that particular topic. So it really differs.
Got two ones that are very popular lah. It's either entertainment, that means you make people laugh, or it is very educational and informational, meaning that it's like documentaries talking about people's lives, talking about history and all those kind of stuff. People dig this kind of stuff. But if you can combine two together, it becomes edutainment, and that's a lot of industry that's aiming to do that. Funny yet educational. When people get absorbed into the content and they share out to the public. So two categories.
Yeah.
Majority of them as well.
So, and let's just say the format, right? If you're asking about the format for Instagram or YouTube users, you'd be very familiar with reels or stories, depending on which platform you're on, and that's what they're called respectively. We have ours as well. We have our own reels on our YouTube channel. And there were days as well previously when Eric and we had videos, but we kept it to 1 minute long. Why 1 minute? Because attention span mah. We don't want the attention of our viewers to
Uncle no attention one. That's why I write articles so cannot.
Yeah. Itu malas bro, bukan attention. Different. So yeah. And reels and shorts seems to be like the in thing these days, especially when it has got slapstick comedy elements, anything that infuse laughter, obviously. So yeah. So can humor be learned? If yes, how does humor post work well?
This one, I don't want to put, or at least don't want to pour cold water bucket and stuff, but humor, some people try to very hard to be funny, still not funny leh. Like how? I'm not.
Yeah.
Some people are born funny. I mean, it depends on their character also, right?
I know, right? Like me lah. My life is really funny anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, so humor is very subjective on there because it really depends on each individual. What one may find funny, another may not find it similarly. So how to say that? It whether depends on.
Some people may get angry also. No, wrong frequency. People may get the wrong side of things or wrong idea of what the post is, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You see, like there's one, recently hotly debated post that really went viral and heated up things between us neighbors in Malaysia and Singapore. But
that one is not funny at all.
She seems to find it funny, and she says that we don't have a sense of humor. So.
That one betul mangkok one. Sorry for my language, but mangkok.
So yeah, but to answer Axel even more, humorous posts or elements of humor dabble into our posts. As far as I'm concerned, it works. It has worked for me. It's still working well for me to a certain extent. At least I think. What do you think? Those of you who read my posts, is it funny? Let me know. Okay, Eric,
funny lah.
Pretty sure you have.
I try to be funny lah. I laugh, pity lah.
Finger you. Anyway, it's a bit too much. Marv. Oh, there we go.
Mm.
Yeah. So this is also goes down to us
Mm.
individuals or content creators. Marv, thanks for pointing this out. So even though sometimes if you know what your target audience may like, right? But then if you are not sure if you have that, it's not within your values or your interests or your skill
I think
set.
more importantly is you enjoy doing the videos.
Correct.
That's important.
It's
Yeah.
gonna come naturally,
Mm.
But if you have it but you don't have the flair, then it's a lesser problem because you can always hire or engage people to do it for you as long as
Like
they
us.
align with your direction. Yes, okay. But if it's not in your direction, then clearly, Sean, you don't see us doing some content such as politics, for example, right? Or race, for example. And they're not entirely wrong, okay? But it's just that we choose not to. We know we just don't have the flair. So likely if we try, we probably burn ourselves, right? So just an example. Yeah.
Mm.
This one thinks cold jokes are the best. Ugh,
Mm.
wicked, but okay, So that's what you can do. You may not be creative. You can be creative to a certain
Mm.
and have a realistic expectation. Your expectations specific? Are they measurable? Are they attainable? Are they relevant? And are they time bound? Okay, I just quoted the five letters of SMART, smart goals. So if you are not, what can you do? Can you practice? Can you learn? Can you outsource to people? Can you engage? It's out there, right? So that answers the topic. Next up, credibility. How to build our credibility through content. Ooh, there's a lot of catfish around on the internet. The term catfish is how to put it? Is we're trying to portray ourselves not who we are supposed to be. We have an old.
Doesn't that sound like you, Uncle?
Are you talking about yourself too? Oh, I come back. Okay. No, okay, but hang on. Let me search catfish. I can't really define it properly.
Okay, while Uncle searches for catfish, right? I'm going to show you a bit of this slide lah. Let me tekan here. Okay, so how do we build credibility in the process? Okay, I mean, of course, being present is important. It's essential for people to, or at least to gain people's trust. Like people got to see you often enough, right, to know that you actually exist as a real person now. You're gonna come in and you're gonna write something or post a content even without showing your face, right? Chances are we are just creating content and wasting our own energy only. So you have to be present. Like it or not, we got to show our face on and off. I know a lot of us like to hide behind the scenes, preferably not to show our face. Unlike Uncle here who likes to show his face all the time, but even did selfies of himself. I don't know who does that. Yeah. But it's essential for us to be present either through videos, through photos, through your write-ups consistently. And when others see you, at least on a regular basis, the trust level goes up because they know that you're actually doing good work or doing good content and they actually trust you. Automatically, their trust level goes up. And when you have more people on board of a team, then of course your frequency can come down or dwindle down a bit because everybody is doing the same task as well. Say, for example, my team, or at least the team here we have, everybody writes their own post. We don't talk about business. We don't talk about, we don't sell anything. We talk about other stories that involves around us, and people do recognize us for the things that we do, and that itself, it's building credibility and trust. When people mention your name, mention others, everybody knows that we come from the same group of company. Wow, like some big time like that. But we come from Choobub lah, meaning that we are all singing the same song. So that's building credibility. But Uncle, what's your catfish?
So right. I was struggling to get Google to tell me not to show me pictures of the catfish. But anyway, the term of catfish is a person who pretends to be someone else online, uses fake photos, and sometimes even adopts a false persona, mainly to find friends or romantic partners on the internet, or even sometimes I don't know,
Romantic partner.
scams. I mean, that's what Google
Mm,
says. So
mm,
there you go. I mean, we have to remember we're in an age where the internet is a wonderful thing, but has also been abused.
mm,
Scams are rampant, and genuine, authentic credibility is so important, especially if you have the end goal to build a network or have a business goal or trying to monetize what we're trying to do, right? So it's just, for lack of a better word, very, very important to establish ourselves, an authority that people can actually relate to and can count that you are authentic. We are
mm,
authentic, and that trust enough to reach out and start contacting us or just engage casually. You wouldn't want to
mm,
even have any engagement with someone who you feel suspicious, isn't it? Right?
mm.
So,
Like what
Tra,
is Khalid
hmm.
saying? Sometimes no choice. Just got to post yourself, right? So that people know you're still alive and real.
Okay.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. Just got to be present lah. More importantly lah. I'm sure majority of us are authentic in nature already lah. There's no way we can be more authentic than how we authentically are. But as long as you are present, then the right people will find you, and the right frequency will match with you, and you will have your own crowd lah. The people
mm,
that you follow and the people who follows you as well. It works both ways lah. In that
mm, mm,
sense.
mm.
Mm.
So, Zia, I mean, if you're going to be in the social media space, doesn't matter which channel you're going to be on, chances are if you have an agenda for any monetization purposes, more than likely you'll end up meeting your contacts, right? Face to face, or at least virtually to begin with, and then gradually it goes from there. But there are also those who create content, I don't know, maybe to just pastime as a hobby, and eventually you get famous, you're more visible, uh, and if you don't have any reason to monetize it, right, what are the chances of that person going out into an offline meeting with people
Mm.
face to face? I don't know, I'm just thinking out loud, right?
Which
So
is actually the next topic here actually.
there we
Mm.
go. So
Mm.
transitioning, yeah, actually, very thanks. You read my mind. So how is it that we can do that? So it's just a bridge, okay? And if we are business owners, you may want to consider presenting ourselves. No point just presenting our team members, because if we are business owners, especially if we're a startup, right? People want to know who is the boss, what's the background, and whether or not they are willing to invest in that trust to take it further. Yeah.
Mm.
So, what are the content routes for money?
Mm.
OnlyFans, one of them.
Mm.
For those of you who don't
Mm.
know OnlyFans, do
Okay, uncle.
search your own risk.
Okay. Okay. Anyhow, we keep it child friendly here. Okay. Now, what are the content routes we can do? I'm sure many of us are familiar with Simling here. Okay.
Anti HR.
Auntie HR. She used to be with Pasol Kelly until she resigned and become a full-time influencer. Okay. That can be part of the route or route that you can choose to take, the influencing route, in which you get your money based on brand sponsorships, deals, projects to do multiple video sets, anything that an influencer has to do to make money. That is the route you can do, but it requires a lot of content. Simling here has a large following already, 100 over 1,000 on TikTok, at least 30 over 1,000 on LinkedIn, and her IG probably about 15 to 20,000, if I'm not mistaken. That is a following already. You can call her influencer or micro influencer, but enough crowd to generate a demand for people to reach out to her to do promotions in that sense. So that's one of
Endorsements.
endorsements. Yeah.
Yeah. So as you can see there, she's been featured by Seek Asia or even Job Street, collaborating with them. So clearly, she has done it very, very well. And mind you, I think she did this about just a few years ago, but she did it very consistently. Her cadence was quite frequent, and that brought her to where she is today. It's not easy. She clearly had her goals in mind, and to reach her goals, what were the steps and the time and energy invested in? Yeah, it's not as easy as it seems, but there it is. Auntie HR, that's one of the good
Right.
examples we can point out.
Right. Then the other
Next up.
one, you can also use content to build up your authority. You already have, like for example, I'm showing you Dr. Cha here. He has pool of patients to deal with already. I mean, he has enough flow of money coming into him. I mean, one surgery he cuts probably in the thousands lah. But he's here to build up authority. Doesn't need to sell, but he's here to educate. But as long as your authority goes up, people know you as your what you do is kind of like your brand. You're generating a lot of awareness in the public, right? When people ask for a certain type of surgery, people will think of your name. So that is also possible. See, you're the authority figure of a certain niche or particular skill set that you have or you're very good at. So
And last three,
yeah,
the three ladies.
yes. So what do you think this here?
Don't play. Okay, she's watching. Okay. Yeah. Three of them are watching right now. Okay. It's your
yeah. Content, just like what you mentioned earlier just now, Uncle, it's also an area for us to network with others. It allows others to meet up with one another. Okay. When you get the chance to meet with one another, of course, when it comes to networking, there are all opportunities everywhere. Okay, but you have to take the first step to meet others lah. But by doing so, you need others to trust you first before they are ready to meet you. See, if you are like, suddenly you reach out to somebody and ask them to meet, like a guy asking for a girl to go out for a date without having to meet the girl for the first time, right? It's scary, right? You just need to be, unless you are brave enough. So don't say auntie.
I see, Liao Lu.
You see, you have Auntie Sharon, Auntie Selina, and Auntie Prima here, right? They are all here having a cup of tea together, but eventually they move on to greater things, which they work alongside together, and they work alongside with us as well. Okay, so this content end up with a lot of collaborations, and when the collaborations happen, miracles happen, things start to work, money start to flow as well. But it takes time. You all can start somewhere, especially for business owners in this context. You can use your content to network. And when you can network, you can reach out to others, other people from other industries. You get them to come in, you get to learn about them, and they get to learn about you. And eventually, again, planting the seed, watering them, and allowing them to go into a tree. 1 year, 2 years down the line, they will reach out to you for other stuff. Who knows, right? So, content, yes.
Right. So these are just some of the examples of what we have achieved so far. Doesn't mean that it's the best, but we're just merely sharing from our point of view and our journey, what we've experienced that has worked for us so far. Now, Melati has got a very, very pedestrian question, but it's very realistic. How about plagiarize content? Adalah banyak lah, but I got nothing against it anyway. You'll know that it's. If you've seen it somewhere, kau macam tahu, I thought I've read it somewhere, So I mean, if that's what it is, it's what it is. I got nothing against them. Then it just goes also to show how do you feel? Okay, so I'm throwing back the question. How do you feel about content creators who reuse other people's content in their flavor for their own favor, right? So anyway, Sharon, you're lucky virtual. Kalau tak, true durian. So as far as I'm concerned, it's just me, okay? How I feel about those kind of content creators lacks credibility, right? We talked about credibility earlier. How do we establish our own credibility, right? Dala, if you if once or twice, maybe accidentally, just being coincidence, maybe I can, be tolerant about it lah. But if there is a trend, macam okay lor, so be it lor. This fella just want to be famous for his content, want to get more likes, love, or whatever, so be it. I'm not gonna, couldn't care less. Doesn't affect me. But that's it. I stopped following that person because aku dah lebih kurang tahu, his stuff is just basically
don't unfollow Yatong. Yatong also.
Yeah, Tong is very deep
But
education.
but Yatong
Brain
is
melt.
different. Yatong is, he does use content from others, but he writes an entire post what he thinks about the content.
Exactly.
Then
He
that's
value
different.
adds.
Yeah.
He value adds his own thoughts, okay, and puts in his own argument. So there's
Don't copy
there's
and paste
a point.
lah.
Don't copy and paste, correct. But you copy and paste bulat-bulat.
At least give credit lah kalau copy and paste lah. Don't copy and paste tak bagi credit as if like you're creating content, your content, right? But it's other people's work. Kena lah bagi credit sikit.
Betul. So that's what we think about playlist content. But very good question there, okay, Melati. So apa lagi? You know what? It's already 9 o'clock, but we're gonna try to rush this. Okay, I know it's been. I think this is quite a good last question for the night. What are the challenges of content creation? Yeah, how to make money content creation? What are the challenges? So we go back to the I'm not creative, what to do among them. And we've talked about it really. We can revisit that in our recording later of this episode. But what are other challenges?
This one, consistency is an issue lah.
Time.
A lot of people want to create content, but it's a lot of work, a lot of sweat.
It was him, Auntie Prema. It was me.
Yeah.
It was him. A lot of time, a lot of sweat.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot of
Consistency.
time, a lot of sweat. It just sometimes people will feel burnout after a while, and tendency is you may be all hype and ready to go, but 3 months down the line, like it's just it's not getting anywhere because we need a drive, and the drive doesn't come, meaning that we don't see the result until probably a year later, and without that drive, we tend to like run out of juice eventually. So the time, the sweat, the effort, those are the main challenges when it comes to creating content. But again, if you think these are your challenge, we are here to talk to you.
You mean Eric is here to talk to you? Okay, I'm not gonna be like spending 3
If you're
hours.
in Penang up north, then Uncle is there to talk to you as well. Yeah.
Buy me beer. I'm a very good listener. Right. So, listen, it's 9:02 p.m. already. We've exceeded 2 minutes of our time. We really hope that you find tonight's episode and discussion fruitful and useful for those of you who would like to try your hand at content creation. There's no right or wrong, but hopefully you do not encounter as many bumps as what our team have encountered. Okay. So, any last words, Eric?
No. Today I feel like a lecture session.
All right, so that's all for tonight, folks. Thank you for those of you watching, especially for those of you leaving your comments and interacting with us tonight. So watch out for next week's episode. It'll be live on set from Iconic, hosted by Tyler, Tris, and Fish. Okay, so that's all for today. Selamat malam.
Bye, guys.